what we know from the AHL. I'll give Sean a chance to say something because he'll
No,
actually.
I don't want to talk about lines. They change all the time.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about lines.
Then you hold on because we're going to talk.
We hang up on him, or how do we cut
Yeah, there
him
he
off?
is. He's just off the screen. He's still there. You just can't see him. We'll talk to Sean again for the Boston Bruins segment when we start next. But how about the next one? I just think that with Bork and Stankoven playing well together. Oh, they brought him back.
I have to keep it on.
I think you got to start with the two AHL guys together, Bork and Stankoven.
Yeah.
They're not the former AHL guys because those
Familiarity,
and their relentlessness.
Yep.
They're
they've looked good.
attacking the puck together. And then having Jamie off of that seems like a really interesting combo. I do like the idea of Wyatt Johnson centering his own line, whereas he would be playing wing with roopehintz and Jason Robertson. But I also like the idea of having Wyatt and Rope as the lefty-righty face-off duo.
Yeah.
So you literally have a strong side face-off on your top line.
Who's the toughest guy on the Dallas Stars?
Jamie Benn.
How do the other two kids play?
Yeah, two speedy, skilled rookies.
Have a protector out there.
They're little instigators.
But if you had Stankoven and you felt you could put him with Robertson and Hintz, that's not a bad thing either.
And
it's not a bad thing.
And you still have Bork with Benn.
So
and
here we're sitting, and can you imagine being Pete DeBoer? I mean, you're just chomping at the bit.
Let's go.
It's
a great combinations.
I have a lot of good options here.
We talked
when
about
teams
the
aren't
post-game
playing
show
well,
the other
this
night.
is what you do: is you mix your lines up.
You saw Ben Duchesne and Sagan briefly during that preseason game, and I go, "Hey, I'm not starting a game like that, but if something's not going well and you shake it up, I didn't mind that." Now, that's probably not the fastest line on the team, but there was some chemistry there. All right, what's the next?
I'd like to hear Sean. I'd love.
No, you don't. He's just going to say this is stupid again.
These were Sean O'Connor's D pairs.
Yeah.
D pairs: Haskin and Dumba, Harley, Lyubushkin, Lindell, Lundqvist. I mean, that's how I think it's going to start.
Yeah, I think D pairs seem to be somewhat pretty much already set.
I agree.
We agree. Lundqvist probably starts, and Smith comes in if needed.
I think so.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Brendan Smith is the patch. He's the and I didn't mean this in a compliment. He's the Band-Aid to cover over any problems.
Yeah.
D or forward. All right, this one's from Inanu. What are we looking at here? Dodonov,
we got
Benn,
Dodonov with Stankoven.
Steele, Bork spelled wrong, and Blackwell. I mean, he's got the personnel right, but
he likes Dodonov with Benn and Stankoven.
I don't think we're going to see Jamie Benn as the center. I mean, he'll take face-offs.
The only thing is, I don't know if that lends to Bork's game. I don't know, but I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean that's the old way of doing it, right? You put the new guy in the fourth line and just make him play those minutes. But I agree. I think he has the skill to do it.
That's an interesting possibility, and if Sean wants to weigh in, that could happen. If Maverick Bork isn't playing particularly well, he could get demoted to the fourth line, and that's okay because they have Dodonov, they have Sam Steele, they have guys that can get promoted. I think they really like Steele playing in the middle, which is why you saw Radek Faksa get pushed to the wing last year.
I agree with any new. You might be crazy.
Yeah. Next one. Oh, wait, no, go back to that one. Go back to that last one.
I did.
Oh, wait. I hear something from
I actually had something.
I just got one of them oxygen bottles down there or up there.
Go
for it.
I do think from a Bork perspective, one of the things I really like about Maverick Bork going into this season is he's not someone who is going to have to, like, you think someone who was the AHL MVP and had their opportunity, and like you think like that fits a bit of the profile of, hey, this kid's going to have to be in that top 6 spot. This kid, I've spoken to him about it at length, the way he puts his work in, like if that's the spot he has to be in on the fourth line playing that role, he'll do it and he'll do it effectively. Like, I think from a Bork perspective, like, he's a guy who I think is really going to surprise some people this year because people are only going to look at his game from, hey, here's the points and everything he had in the AHL. And that's important, obviously. But to me, Bork is really I watched him play in Texas in person about 3 or 4 times last year, including a game in Chicago where it really stuck with me, where Texas was down late in the third period. And Bork didn't have a point on either of the 2 goals that forced overtime, but he was the guy who drove everything and pushed the entire attitude of that Texas team. And then in the shootout, had the skill, scored a really pretty goal to close it out in the shootout after 3-on-3. To me, like, I think Bork is going to surprise some people once they get to know him. And he's going to be one of those guys people are going to love because this is a guy that does everything the right way and has that it factor where he understands the moment, not just the moment in the game, but the moment of like, okay, if this is my job today, that's fine. It doesn't stop me from putting in the skill where I need it. So I think people are going to be really happily like surprised when they start watching Bork on a night to night basis to realize that this kid is more than just point totals he put up in the AHL.
Yeah, and I think the one thing important with that is the AHL, if you're the guy for a team, you're the guy for most situations, right? You're not just the guy they're putting out in the power play with a minute left. You're probably killing penalties or at least out there with a minute and with a 1-goal lead. And Texas Stars captain Curtis McKenzie said the same thing. He said, Bork just decided to take over last year. He said he just was, if there was a situation, Bork was jumping over the boards. And he said it gave everyone energy. It gave everyone confidence in that guy. So I agree with you, Sean. I think that he can easily translate that to the NHL, and his two-way game will surprise some people.
Thank you for your submissions. We were out of time. I was going to make fun of him spelling Labishkin, which made me laugh, or having Bischel in the top 6, which, look, he's going to happen eventually, but I don't think Liam Bischel starts the year in the Stars top 6, and that's okay. But before we get to that, we have one more thing to talk about. And it's Sean with the DLLS internal read. Go for it, Sean. What have we told you?
I mean, right now you're telling me that you guys care a lot about talking about lines on October 1st, so I'm going to ask for October 1st in the future to not be a show that I'm on.
Happy October.
But what if I did tell you there is a really cool place out there where sports fans and Dallas sports fans can get everything they want. You can have the community. You can get great coverage of your teams. You get some pretty cool shirts. I think we got some that John's going to throw on the screen right now. We get some pretty cool shirts, I believe, if they're going to show up here. There we go. Some pretty cool shirts. And you get all of this for less than $80 a year by becoming a diehard member. And you get part of that community. Like, I remember when DLLS launched, reading a bunch of the things people talked about. And my good pal, Tim Cato, who used to work at another place with me that I won't name right now, Tim talked about how DLLS is a spot that brings sports fans and community together and actually cares about it. And that's what you get from the diehard level. You get a spot where you get to be part of these conversations. You get to come in and have these. You can make me, I'm frustrated. I don't like talking about lines, but you know what? I'm happy to have these conversations with you because there's people who care so much about the Stars and want to have these conversations on October 1st. That's what you get at the diehard level. That's why you support this. And plus you get some pretty cool swag yourself.
I don't know. I think he was kind of sucking up there after he said he didn't want to talk about lines. Now he wants people to read his articles.
He had to make up for a boo-boo out there. We can walk it back.
He's just trying to promote his movie. That's what I feel.
Do we have our lines? Are we agreeing on them?
Well, let's make Sean upset a little bit more. Here we go. Ardell wrote in Sean's 2 favorite topics, LTIR and line/D pairings. No, I mean, and he's salty too. Yes, he is.
Sean,
you know what
is
it is?
salty.
It's the altitude.
The altitude and the flannel.
Yeah. No, flannel. He's liking the flannel.
Well, you buttoned it up. It looks like you had it flying out at the morning skate. You were going casual.
Yeah, I realized that after filming the video, and I still decided, I was like, okay, well, I just didn't want to film this a second time.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to your lines just for 1 second. I think you have to have a driver on every line, and I think you did in that first one. You have a driver on every line, and I get when I say driver, I mean someone that pushes people back, and I think Roope pushes defenders back. I think he opens up the offensive zone. I think Stankoven pushes people back. And so that and like when you look at the other line, Matt Duchene still does it. Matt Duchene enters the offensive zone and he pushes things back, and it allows the other ones to do that. Now, if you took Bork, and like you said, if you put Bork down on that 4th line, I don't know if he gets all the minutes he probably should deserve, but he would probably be the player that opens up space and creates space with speed and the ability to handle a puck. So, but I think when you look at your top 3 lines with Bork in it, you're real close to having that problem as an opposing coach, what they had to face last year against the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, we have
a super chat. Where's the sounder? Don't we have a super chat sound?
Nope, we've never had one of those.
Something made noises. Well, Ardell wrote in $5.23. That's a Lundqvist Lindell super chat.
Are these on purpose?
Yes.
That they're doing that? Okay. I just want to make sure that I understand.
He's doing this on purpose.
I just want to make sure.
How long a leash does Nils get to be a net positive? Can he be a starter? This team can't give away points early in the season for development.
He has to be. Who else? Who else are you going to use this year? I mean, is it going to be Smith? I'm just saying he has to get as much opportunity and get confidence in his game, and more importantly, get the coaches have confidence in him.
I don't feel like the coaching staff gave him enough leash last year for that.
Right. I agree.
So
And
why would they do it this year and not last year?
Jim, whoever made the final decision, let's go get Lundqvist, they went and got him for a reason.
Yeah.